It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rabble panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, the sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now, no need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
So it wasn't a dream after all. Animal sty, freight, or food?
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep-eyed...
indications of a struggle.
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself.
No marks, no indications of a struggle.
There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. The good ship Merryweather. But you can stand at ease there, Private. You do realize you're not in the army here, don't you?
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative.
It seems as though there's a pattern in the blood. That can't be natural.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those Source spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it. See? The collar's function. It neuters you. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
Good gods! There's been a murder here.
Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap, gore and...
Easy now. You're paling me arse. Why don't you move along? Waters is investigating. Aren't you enterprising? I'll let Waters tell you no herself.
It seems as though there's a...
Go ahead. She with the body.
Can't be natural. Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, there wouldn't be a Magister. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. And the rest, well, you see the... Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Thanks. I just want to catch whoever did this before they hurt anyone else.
Please, please, please! That's enough now.
It was one of them. I An elf sits tucked away in a...
Snake eyes.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
She shakes her head.
Game for one, I'm afraid.
Long enough for me to listen.
Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't
I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
If you keep carrying on.
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you?
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, you lay awake thinking of someone back home. A very special someone.
hear anyway.
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough.
You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together.
She pats you on the shoulder consolingly.
There, don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Is that right? I've a few questions for you. You are Jill, aren't you?
I ain't saying nothing.
Bloody dwarves. I'll come back to you. And you better be
Never say never, though.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never
The
tried
elf
to
is
live-
reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail.
Maybe that has the Majesty's more
He reaches out and takes your hand, turning it this way and that, examining it from every angle. Finally, he pinches your skin.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
I am reading. Is this not evident?
They don't care about us.
My book is in my hands, my face turned away from you. Perhaps my eyes not...
He grabs a metal plate and watches his reflection with one eye as the other shifts left to right and up to down. He repeats the maneuver with the opposite eye.
No, they are working quite adequately. It seems you are at fault. Predictable, really. Oh? Oh, I see. I crossed a cultural taboo. How difficult. You have my apologies, human. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once. Perhaps. Perhaps not. Understanding is all rather relative. Take this book, for example. I understand all of it, and yet none of it makes sense. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
The elf's face freezes for just a second before he waves his hand dismissively.
Oh, it's just one of my idle curiosities. We mortals do like to consider these things, do we not? Now, please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book.
You mind? I'm really rather... You mind?
Here to register, sir. Good, good. You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of his uniform and chuckles.
Sorry you're upset, sir, but we all wear what we wear for a reason. You head on in now, will you?
Keep those bolts trained on her.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of...
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siren. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened?
long before this thing snaps into splinters! Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards! God damn it! Need to get off this wreck and quick! Great gods! Something's pounding on the hub!
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood fit doesn't budge. The moment you touch the door... pass through the door, and are suddenly faced. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous...
No. What damn fools record not? It catches fire. It turns into must when wet. It cannot even resist acid.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping.
Yes, indeed. It's the look of someone that wants to read. Now, if you're really quite finished, I believe you have lifeboats to flee to. Do you look at me and think, why yes, there is someone with organs enough to drown? Trifling? No, damp robes are the most I have to fear. Once this glorified skiff hits the seafloor, whereas you, I believe, have lifeboats to pointlessly squabble over. I believe you did, although I was wearing the face of an elf at the time. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take a mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little scene. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands.
The skeleton holds up his book in one quick...
I am trying to discover if there is anyone worth saving, and I will be damned if I let the lives of some mayflies get in my way. Go on. Go, swim.
The moment you touch the door, the door groans open. But...
Deathlock! I need to get out of here! Now! Not long before this thing snaps into splinters! Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards! Great gods! Something's pounding on the heart!
The marking on the door was painted. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood, it doesn't budge. The door groans open.
Something's breaking through! What in the hells are those things?
You pass through the door. The skeleton...
No. It catches...
The skeleton look...
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and...
I know your god did not gift you with much, but do you look at me and think, why yes, there is someone with... No, damp robes are the most I have to fear, whereas you, I believe, have lifeboats to pointlessly squabble over. I believe you did. I had a mask, rather ingenious. A mask that was stolen. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools.
The skeleton holds up his...
I am trying, and I will be damned if I let... Go on, go.
this wreck and quick!
chance.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes.
Said there were other people down.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you! There's a ladder right...
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
The Magister lies on the floor. The Magister lies on the floor. The Magister lies on the floor.
broken!
These beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
I thought Void Woken was supposed to be scary. Let the games begin.
I've faced worse.
They who are about to triumph.
I hear something. It's...
That's what you big boy!
We need to wait.
Hey, there's no time.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven. Those Voidwoken made short bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor? It seems someone, something, wanted me alive. I thought the Order would get rid of any trace of the old Source King.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Why? I guess. Well, the people who put me here are human, and the people who took my parents away are human too. Or do you mean because I'm a... Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid, searching your face. He lifts his mirror to his nose, closes one eye, and looks at himself again.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong, or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside, anyway. But you didn't die. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary.
This statue must be 1,000 years old. Wonder how much longer it'll last. Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they've made it to shore.
The squirrel looks at you in shock. Are you The squirrel turns his nose up at you and... You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer.
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in that dreadful... You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than...
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not get carried away, shall we? Now then, if there's nothing further... I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite self-evident I was gazing out over the waves.
He sighs, dramatic.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Touché.
He looks out over the water once.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with...
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? Oh, may the seven have mercy on their own creation. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World Tamer, the spouse of the sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent...
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunity. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry, for the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. Truly. A kind offer indeed. Fine. I accept on one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out, it goes... As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be traveling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to... Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest of...
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, its eyes clear.
Hey, mister. It's a lot nicer here than that stinking boat. I'm sure glad you went back to save the others. Saw one of them. Now, where should I put this one? Adults always want to talk. Hey, mister. It's a lot... I'm sure glad...